witnessed firsthand the scenes of death and destruction that Hurricane Sandy left in that part of New York City. In another part of New York City, this happened.
Welcome back, everyone. Fox Business Alert for you now. The Labor Department just releasing brand new weekly jobless numbers. 439,000 first-time unemployment claims were filed last week. That's up from the week before and more than expected.
Are you kidding? Is it up? Oh, my goodness.
Air polling, a lot of people are going to have a lot of things to say about this.
We literally had to call and say, is that number right? And sure enough, it looks like it's right. Are you kidding? There's going to be something. There's going to be adjustment. They're saying this has something to do with Sandy. I'm sure, because the number is so much higher than it. You have been suspicious of the numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics before. This is the first week after the election.
That's the first thing everyone's going to
Does anyone find it odd that the weeks leading into the election, the number went down?
Everyone finds it odd. Now, Sandy, how could you possibly say that has anything to do with first-time jobless claims? When a storm hits, you get fired?
The Department of Labor is getting sketchier and sketchier with each one of these numbers.
As I've told you before, most people who live and work in New York City have never been to Staten Island. The conspiracy theorists at Fox News, who can't figure out why the jobless claims suddenly went up, have obviously never been to Staten Island. Certainly none of them could have been there since Hurricane Sandy. None of them could have walked those streets of death and destruction out there the way I did a few days after the hurricane and the way that President Obama did today, and then wonder, why did jobless claims go up after the election, which also happens to be after the hurricane? These same people who have never had an occasion to doubt the Bureau of Labor Statistics work under a Republican president, these same people who have no idea how the Bureau of Labor Statistics arrives at any of its statistics about anything, including jobless claims, these same people suddenly believe that they are better calculators of jobless claims than the career professionals who work the numbers in the Bureau of Labor Statistics under both Democrat and Republican presidents. Never mind that twice in its own report, the Labor Department cited an increase in jobless claims due to Hurricane Sandy. In the neighborhoods that were crushed by the hurricane, jobs were crushed too. There are stores and other places of employment in those neighborhoods that no longer exist. I saw stores and businesses burned to the ground on Staten Island and others destroyed by flooding. And no one got fired from those jobs, but the jobs no longer exist. But the hurricane didn't break a single window in the Fox News studio in Midtown Manhattan. There was no real damage at all in this area of New York City. I actually walked around Times Square at the height of the hurricane on that Monday night and walked past the Fox News studio on the way to this studio, and the most I was exposed to was a light mist and minor gusts of wind. That's how big New York City is, and that's how peculiar hurricanes can be. Nothing here and death and destruction a few miles away in the same city. The Associated Press issued its first summary of the Labor Department's report immediately after the information became available, saying, quote, Superstorm Sandy drives U.S. weekly unemployment aid applications up. The AP reported the Labor Department said Thursday that weekly applications increased by 78,000, mostly because a large number of applications were filed in states damaged by the storm. People can claim unemployment benefits if their workplaces close and they don't get paid. The storm has affected the claims data for the past 2 weeks and may distort reports for another 2 weeks, the department has said. Hurricane Sandy killed at least 109 people. Almost half of them were killed in New York City. It left people without electricity for weeks. Thousands of businesses were closed for more than a week without any power at all. In fact, more than 2,300 customers still don't have power in New York City. Nothing in the devastation brought by Hurricane Sandy could explain an increase in jobless claims in Fox News world, where they were so quick to try to rewrite the Bureau of Labor Statistics with their own wild imaginations. How sealed off from reality can you be? How sealed off from New York City can you be in the Fox News studio in the middle of Manhattan? How sealed off from human suffering can you be? Here's how sealed off they are. Here's how far the Fox News studio is from Staten Island and Lower Manhattan and Queens